Hi students, welcome back to GDC classes. In this short video lecture, we will discuss the secretions of the digestive system. So let us know what are all the secretions that are released into the digestive tract that will aid in the digestion of the food. So, so you know that the digestive system is divided into two parts. That is a gastrointestinal tract and the accessory digestive organs. So the gastrointestinal tract is the one in which the digestion of the food takes place, whereas the accessory digestive organs, they will help, or you can say they will support the digestion process. So what does the gastrointestinal consist of? It starts from the mouth and ends at the rectum. So it consists of the mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and finally the rectum. And the accessory digestive organs constitute the teeth, liver, tongue, gallbladder, salivary glands, and pancreas. Okay, in the gastrointestinal tract, digestion of the food will occur, whereas the accessory digestive organs will support the digestion process. So here, this is the digestive tract. And coming now, let us know what secretions are released in each part of the digestive tract. So let us start from the mouth. In the mouth, ultimately a fluid called saliva is secreted. So this saliva is secreted by salivary glands, which are present in the oral cavity. And what are the salivary glands? Those are parotid glands, submandibular glands, and sublingual glands. So these three types of salivary glands, they will occur in pairs and they are present in the oral cavity. And what does the saliva contains? The saliva contains water. It contains water, mucus, and an enzyme called salivary amylase. So this is an enzyme which is responsible for digesting carbohydrates. So the food contains carbohydrates like starch, right? So this amylase enzyme, it digests or converts the starch into maltose molecules, and it has a pH around 6.8. So you have to remember, they might ask a question about what is the pH of the salivary amylase, and the pH of the saliva is around 6.5 to 7.5. So you can say that it is a slightly basic to neutral pH. Why the saliva has a neutral pH? So whenever we eat acidic foods like cherries, coffee, lemon, oranges, so these foods will turn the pH of the mouth into acidic. And when the mouth's pH becomes acidic, it will try to degrade the outer layer of the teeth, that is the enamel. So that's why we don't want acidic pH in our mouth. And the saliva will help us to maintain a neutral pH in the mouth. It always tries to maintain a neutral pH in the mouth. And coming to the next part of the digestive tract, that is the pharynx and the esophagus. So there are no much important secretions released in this part of the digestive tract. The only substance released is the mucus. So this mucus is a sticky gelatinous substance which is responsible for lubricating and also protecting the lining of the pharynx and the esophagus. And this mucus is secreted by the goblet cells present in the epithelial layer of the pharynx and the esophagus. And its pH is around 7. Now coming to the stomach, in the stomach a wide variety of fluids, enzymes, and hormones are released, and the stomach also contains a number of cells, and all these cells are present in the epithelial lining of the stomach. And what are the cells? Chief cells, parietal cells, mucus cells, G cells, D cells, and enterochromaffin-like cells. Now each cell secretes different types of enzymes and hormones. Let us know what they are. So the chief cells secrete three types of enzymes, that is the pepsinogen, renin, and lipase. Now this pepsinogen is a protein digesting enzyme. Renin is also a protein digesting enzyme, but it will particularly digest the milk proteins, that is the casein. Okay, casein is a milk protein, and this renin will help in digesting that milk protein, and the lipase will is involved in the digestion of lipids. And the parietal cells secrete hydrochloric acid. So this hydrochloric acid plays a very important role in the digestion of the food, and it also helps in killing the bacteria which may enter into the body along with the food. An intrinsic factor will help in absorbing the vitamin B12. You can also call this as Castle's intrinsic factor. Okay, this will help in absorbing the vitamin B12. And as you know, the mucus ultimately secretes the mucus, which will protect the epithelial lining of the stomach from the destructive effects of HCl. And the G cells secrete a hormone called gastrin, which will stimulate the parietal cells to secrete more hydrochloric acid. And the D cells secrete a hormone called somatostatin, which will inhibit the parietal cells from secreting more HCl. Okay, the gastrin will stimulate HCl secretion, whereas the somatostatin will inhibit the HCl secretion. And also the histamine also stimulates the parietal cells in secreting the HCl. Okay, conclusively you can say that the gastrin and the histamine hormone will cause the HCl secretion, whereas the somatostatin will try to inhibit the HCl secretion. And coming to the pH, the upper stomach has a pH of around 4.0 to 6.5, whereas the lower stomach has a pH of around 1.5 to 4.0. And here you might have observed a difference in the pH. Okay, the upper stomach has a slightly less acidic pH than the lower stomach. Why this is? So when the food enters the stomach from the esophagus, the food falls into the lower part of the stomach, and also the HCl gets accumulated in the lower part of the stomach. So that's why, due to the presence of HCl in the lower part of the stomach, the lower part has a slightly more acidic pH than the upper part of the stomach. So these are the secretions that are released in the stomach. So coming to the small intestine. In small intestine, pancreatic juice, bile, and certain enzymes and hormones are released. So let us know about them. Now this pancreatic juice is released by the pancreas, which is a clear colorless fluid and has a pH between 7.1 to 8.2. So it is a neutral to highly basic pH. And around 1200 to 1500 ml of pancreatic juice is secreted every day into the small intestine. What does the pancreatic juice contain? It contains water, mineral salts, sodium bicarbonate, which is highly alkaline in nature, and enzymes like amylase, lipase, and inactive enzymes like trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, and carboxypeptidase. So the role of this sodium bicarbonate is that, so when the food which enters from the stomach to the intestine is mixed with hydrochloric acid. So the food is also, you can say that the food is very acidic. So in order to neutralize that acidic nature of the food, the sodium carbonate will help to neutralize the acidic food. And the enzymes present are amylase and lipase. So amylase will help in digesting the carbohydrates, lipase will help in digesting the lipids. And this term inactive enzymes, why the name inactive enzymes means, these enzymes, they are in inactive state. Okay, they will not perform any digesting function unless they are activated by an enzyme. So there is a gland called Brunner's gland in the wall of the small intestine. So it secretes an alkaline layer of mucus. So it also, when the acidic food from the stomach enters the small intestine, this might try to damage the stomach lining. So that's why the Brunner's gland will secrete an alkaline layer protecting the lining of the small intestine. And this Brunner gland also secretes an enzyme called enterokinase. So the main function of this enterokinase enzyme is to activate these inactive enzymes. So this enterokinase will activate the trypsinogen into trypsin, chymotrypsinogen into chymotrypsin, and procarboxypeptidase into carboxypeptidase. And these three enzymes are nothing but they are protein digesting enzymes. And also there is a gland called crypts of Leverkusen. So these are present under the villi of the stomach, in small intestinal lining. Villi are responsible for absorbing the digested food, Under these villi, these cribs of Lieberkühn are present. What is its function? It secretes intestinal juices or succus entericus. So it will secrete intestinal juices which contains various enzymes and alkaline chemicals, etc. And the hormones secreted in the small intestine are the cholecystokinin and the secretin. The function of this cholecystokinin is that it will stimulate the gallbladder. So there is a secretion called bile. Okay, bile is synthesized by the liver and it is stored in the gallbladder. This cholecystokinin, which is released in the small intestine, will stimulate the gallbladder to release the bile into the small intestine. And the secretin is involved in causing the glands to release their secretions. So it will help in enhancing the secretions of the small intestine. Now coming to the bile juice, which is synthesized by the liver and it is stored in the gallbladder. So this bile juice is a physiological solution produced by the liver which contains up to 95% of water, and the remaining 5% contains dissolved solid constituents like bile salts, bile acids, bilirubin and cholesterol. So the bile salts include the taurochinodeoxycholic acid, glycochinodeoxycholic acid, and the bile acids include the taurocholic acid, glycocholic acid. So the bile acids are derived from the bile salts, okay, and the bilirubin is a bile pigment which is a byproduct of the broken down RBCs. So the old RBCs or the RBCs which are not useful to the body anymore, so they are broken down. In this process, the pigment called bilirubin is produced, and the bile also contains cholesterol. So the function of this bile is to help in the digestion of lipids, or you can say the fats present in the food. Now the pH of the small intestine, the small intestine is divided into three parts: duodenum, jejunum and ileum. So the duodenum has a pH of around 6, the jejunum has 7.7 to 8.5 and the ileum has 7.4. So you can observe here that the duodenum has a pH around 6. So you can say this is a slightly acidic pH. So why this slightly acidic pH? The stomach, the food is mixed with the HCl, and as that acidic food enters into the small intestine, somewhat the food will contain the HCl. So that's why the duodenum has a slightly acidic pH. And as there is the sodium bicarbonate and also the alkaline layer of mucus, some alkaline fluids are released in the small intestine. So due to these alkaline fluids, the pH will decrease. So it will become it will become neutral to basic pH. And further coming to the ileum, it will the pH will become from basic to neutral. Okay, in duodenum it is slightly acidic, then it becomes neutral to basic, and again in the ileum it becomes neutral. Why means so all the sodium bicarbonate or the alkaline fluids released in the small intestine, they will degrade or they will be absorbed in the small intestine. So that's why the food will be the pH will become neutral again. And now coming to the large intestine, the last part of the digestive tract. In the large intestine, no secretions or no enzymes are released. Only mucus is released. So you know that all the digested food and all the nutrients that we get from the food, those are all largely absorbed in the small intestine itself. And the large intestine, only some part is absorbed. In large intestine, the mucus will be released, and this mucus will help the digested food, or you can say that it will help the undigested food, or you can say the waste material, to be excreted out of the body easily. So this mucus will provide some lubrication, aiding in the elimination of the waste products. So these are about the secretions released in the digestive system. So for more such videos, subscribe to the GDC English channel and also press the bell icon. Thank you.